Be careful. Okay.
Coach, when you watch Colorado, what has changed with their offense year over year? Or is it pretty similar to what they did a year ago?
It's similar. You can see some of the new wrinkles. I think it's really cool to see what they put on tape in terms of you can see who they're trying to attack, where they're trying to get the ball to. Trying to really attack coverages. So they're going to be a big challenge. Really explosive offense, and obviously when you got a quarterback of his knowledge, his experience, his talents, I mean it's gonna challenge the defense. So we got our work cut out for us.
How do you guys prepare for a team that has that much speed and explosiveness? Because they're known for explosive plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you kind of prepare for that?
Well, it's when you're playing a heavier run team, you kind of tend change your periods to more run, more inside, more heavier personnels, and then when you get into teams that want to throw the ball, get you out in space and stuff, you might do a little bit more 7-on-7, get the guys in more space-oriented situations, so that way the game day is more like practice. So you do little things like that. Coach, that's the great thing with Coach. He says, hey, what do you guys need? And if it's more 7-on-7, then we do more 7-on-7. If it's more team, more team. If it's more against the offense, whatever it is we need to do to put these guys in the situation that they're going to be in the game, he allows us to do. And so doing little things like that, making sure that we hop on the little things that get us in position to make plays.
You guys saw, Tony, Travis Hunter last year when he was brand new to the FBS level, and so now getting to see that year on tape and what he did in the opener, playing both sides of the ball. And from your perspective, how impressive is that to I think he played like 120 something.
Yeah. I mean, he is special talent. I mean, he's the best two-way player, one of the best athletes in the country. I mean, there ain't no way to sugarcoat that. You know what I mean? And again, it's one thing to face him and to have to defend that, and then it's another thing when you're just watching football and you really just admire the way he goes about the game, his love for the game, the way he plays. I mean, you can see him. He's a playmaker no matter where you put him. And so again, it'll be a challenge to the defense, and we got to make sure we're ready to go.
What do you impress upon your DBs when you cover a guy like that who seemingly catches just about everything that's within his reach?
Yeah, no, I mean, you just got to go back to fundamentals, go back to what we do and the situations that Coach Butler and all the defensive staff, they're putting the guys in right now, trying to mimic the same situations that our guys are going to be in the game, and you just rep it and you trust your training and you go out there and like I said, through the week you prepare in a way where you have confidence going into the game on Saturdays.
How did the in-helmet communication go on Saturday? Did you really use it with the crowd noise?
No, that's the thing with on the defensive side of the ball, the crowd is the loudest. So I mean, the crowd was awesome. I mean, I almost started keeping account of how many penalties the crowd gets, for the other team's offense. But it also hinders us as well. So that's why we had our normal signals and went about business as usual. So. But we continue to work with it, continue to move guys around in the green dot. So when it is time, we can use it to our advantage.
Yellow sleeves underneath the shirts for a couple of you guys on the sidelines. Is that just a visibility thing if the helmet communication?
Yeah, you know what? Somebody told me about that. Like that's a new fashion statement or something. Heck, no, that's all because the Jamari and those guys, they had a hard time seeing me with all the colors on the sideline. So they kept on pressing to say, Coach, wear a different color, do something. And so in the summertime, we had the Matt Rule football camps, and we wear those neon green to identify, who's part of the staff. And so one day I wore it at practice, and the guys were like, Coach, we can see you really easily like that, wear it on game day. And I'm like, green's not my color, but I'm like, for you guys, we're going to do it. So it was cool to see. And then, like I said, all the defensive signals are in it, so they can see us right away. We can get the calls in and let them play.
How'd you feel Marquise did at corner?
Awesome. I mean, he had that really nice break up on our sideline, one-on-one ball, didn't panic, went through the hands, did everything, and that's what you get with an experienced guy. But it was also all the other guys around him. The front getting some pressure, the safety taking number 2, so the ball went high. And Keese, again, trusted his training, was in the right spots, didn't panic, and he made the play. So it's fun to watch him continue to grow, play, show his versatility on film between going from corner and safety.
Couple interceptions. Is that the start you were looking for from a turnover standpoint?
No, I mean, of course, it was good, but I'm at the one that that Deshaun got hit in the face mask with and we dropped there. You know, that's one that we got to be able to take. And as you play in these kind of games, the one coming up on Saturday, you have to make those plays. So you heard me all day today. It was like, hey, if a ball hits you in the face mask, dude, you can't let that one get away. So it was fun to watch. Again, everyone sees the interception, but it's the start of the play. They aligned correctly. Their eyes were right. They knew the call. They communicated with the guy next to him. The guys up front getting pressured. He's in the right leverage. So there's a whole multitude of steps that was probably the most important thing for those guys to be in those positions. You know, and then Ramir Stewart, you know, his interception was really cool because the offense came out and they ran the same play from the opposite field and they beat him across his face and they got one of their explosives that way. They came back a couple plays later, ran the same play against them, against the same defensive call, and he self-corrected him on the field and got the interception. Those kind of things right there show you how really good football players, you know, can think on the field and self-correct. And so it was really cool to see a young guy be able to do that. So now again, it's another week, so we got to do it again.
Tony, with the athleticism of Colorado's quarterback, how do you walk that fine line of, you know, bringing pressure and then also making sure you're playing the numbers game correctly on the back end?
Yeah, I mean, we got to do what we got to do. You know, that's the coaches again coming together and saying what the best calls, what the best philosophy is to not only when we do pressure, what the coverage is going to look like. When we drop everybody, what's the rush going to look like? You know, playing complementary football on defense. So that's the challenge, right? I mean, he's a talent, and it seems like if you go back through and look at all the games, there's a lot of ways people played him, and I mean, he was still able to perform. You know, still able to execute. So again, really big challenge. But he's the type of player that makes you a better coordinator. You know what I mean? Because you have to find ways. You got to be creative. You got to find ways to cover. You got to find ways to attack them. You got to find ways to disguise. So you know, it's going to be a challenge.
How pleased were you with the tackling? It looked like there were very few missed tackles, especially for a team that was trying to force you to maybe tackle in space last week.
Yeah, I thought when we got there, the guys got there with some bad intentions. I think we need to shore up our angles. You know, there's a couple times where we got cut back on, and we don't. That's not what we do. That's not what we preach. So again, you know, you love the things that you did well, but every step of the way, it's what can we do just that much better. You know, and that's the first thing we showed the guys. And coach pointed out, you know, hey, let's do this better. I mean, let's take that ball away that we're supposed to. Let's track our near hips, and let's really go after the football. And so that was the highlight, you know, of this week, starting off and making sure that we get those things done.
What's impressed you most about Ty Robinson with the improvement that we've seen maybe this time last year versus now, and how he was able to impact the game on Saturday?
Yeah, remember Ty, when we first got here, Ty, you know, he had played, but he really didn't play like that because the injury and all that kind of stuff. So last year, turning him and Nash and those guys loose, same way Jamari, turning all those guys loose. Now, you know, they know the defense, you know, so they're comfortable in it. They start moving different positions, start playing around that way. And you get to see them now just be instinctive and go and get off the ball. You know, like the cool thing was about that was last week, you know, we had an adjustment probably early in the week that we wanted to play things a certain way. And the guys were able to pick it up and do it, and it was probably one of the best things we did last week on defense. You know, and it was a last minute change to the defensive game plan, and they were able to do it just because they felt comfortable and everything. So when you get guys who know what they're doing and know how to do it, then you see the aggressiveness, you see the speed, you see their talent take form. So it was fun to watch Ty go out there and play a really good game.
Did MJ and Makai come off as good on tape to a coach as it maybe seemed to a layperson in that first game?
Yeah, really good. I mean, you know, the safety down there, I mean, we're not blitzing Makai. He's back there reading, and he blinks and he sees run, and he dips underneath the guard or tackle, and he accelerates through the hole, and he creates the initial the pile for the safety to happen, you know. And he's just a really instinctive football player, you know. And again, it's about getting him in position to let him go out there and let him use his instincts. And so those little things might not show up to everybody, but like you said, when you go back and watch a film, you really have an appreciation for guys who trust the process, who really believe in what they're doing, believe in their teammates, and then go out there when the lights are on and go and do it. You know what I mean, it's one thing to know it all and stuff in in the classroom, but then to see a guy go out there and just play football and be aggressive, those things are fun to watch.
In the parts of the game before, it was a 3 or 4 touchdown lead, and you started to put all kinds of backups in. Were you able to sub the way that you wanted to, the way that you would like to when you're playing a close game for 4 quarters? You feel like you have the depth right now that you're looking for?
Oh, I mean, you can always develop depth. The story behind that is, you want to get guys in the game, and it was coach's challenge to the older guys to be like, hey man, let's play hard, let's be ourselves, let's be aggressive. So that way those guys who have worked alongside you all spring, all summer, all the OTAs in the summer and all that stuff, those guys get in the game. So when we were up, coach was, and this is really, I mean, different thinking is he was like, get those guys in the game. Hey, I want to see so-and-so. I want to see so-and-so. I want to see so-and-so. And as coaches, you're just locked into the game. You're locked into down the distance, the personnel, what they're doing, making calls. You don't really see the benefit of all those guys playing. And I saw the article over 108 guys playing. Just think of like when they came back in here, how cool it was for Maverick Noonan to go in there after the injury to come back and have a big time tackle for a loss. I mean, a guy who, busted his butt, been here, program, move positions, do all that kind of stuff, and then go into the game. I don't even know if he was in the defensive meetings. Him and Noonan, they were in the scout meetings the whole week, but yet they were in tune, locked in to go in there and execute a call. Maybe they didn't even practice all week. That type of stuff, it just resonates with the whole locker room, And so when we get in those kind of things, that was all Coach Rule on the headset, having a bigger picture of everything, and that was refreshing to get those guys in the game.
Hey, Tony, from a coordinator's perspective, how beneficial can it be to have 4 full quarters of film to review, while on the other side, maybe they have like 3.5 with the starters?
Yeah, I mean, we go back to, the last games from last year as well. So it was. I mean, again, it was good that they put all that stuff on tape, but, they're going to have their wrinkles. They're going to have it's mainly you're looking at concepts and trying to get ideas of what they're thinking and how they want to do things, versus the actual play call. So, I mean, it's good. All those things help in game planning, so we'll see.
How do you prioritize that preparation of last year, and maybe the personnel is a little different play call part of the season versus this year? It's only 1 game, but it's more true to what you'll see. Yeah, no, you go back and look at the numbers and percentages, and again, it's just 1 game, but you kind of get a flavor of like what they like to do, right? I mean, it goes back to what the quarterback and OC see, how they want to attack. They see cover 4, they want to do this. They see 1 high, they want to do this. They see 2, they want to do this, and see if those concepts remain the same. And then, I mean, it's not a secret, right? They're going to get the ball to 12, they're going to get the ball to 5, and they're going to get the ball to 10, And if you're overplaying all that stuff, then they'll just run the ball, And their O-line is better than last year, so that threat is going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's a big challenge.
Just what are the emotions for you for the how big of a spotlight this is going to be for your team and your defense to show what they're capable of on the national stage? Yeah, right now it's just Tuesday, and we're just worried about us right now, and that's the most important thing. You worry about who you're playing right now, then it all goes for naught. I mean, the process is we got to handle our business. We got to make sure we're tackling. First of all, it all comes back to do we know what we're doing? Number one. Do we know how we want to do it? And then just getting those reps, putting those guys in position every day, making sure their minds are right, making sure their attitudes are right. So that way, when the game comes, they've already played the game so many times during the week. Now they can just go out there and play. So it's not so much, again, great talent, some of the best football players, in the country coming in here. But, it's more so what are we going to do and how are we going to do it is probably the biggest thing that concerns us.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.